What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. I'm also going to talk about a big shift we're seeing and what the market's pricing in for the Fed. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. This offer ends very soon, in just about 12 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So as far as Tesla's going, we basically did what I was talking about. I said we might be looking for a touch of 232, but I mentioned that Tesla might not just continue to rally. It might hit resistance in the morning, then come back down and continue to trade sideways as time went on. And the market is pretty sideways. There's a lot of chop right now. We are on a bit of a downtrend for today so far, but there's a lot of chop as we were talking about. We're still technically range bound. So the question is, what's happening from this point on? I want to break down something very important. So today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's about 2 hours from the time I'm recording this video, we have the Fed interest rates decision coming out. Now, is it going to be 25 basis points worth of a cut, or is it going to be 50? We'll just have to wait and see. But don't forget that we also have the economic projections report coming out, so look for some high volatility then. That's going to give us more insights on what the Fed is looking to do 1 year, 2 years, 3 years after where we currently are. And these projections are going to be very important for what the market price is in. Now, one thing that's happening is we're seeing a shift here. So this bar has been going down a little bit, and this has been going up a little bit. And why is that? Because now the market is less decisive. The market was kind of betting a bit more on the Fed giving us that 50 basis point cut. Now it's shifting a little bit. Now it thinks there's a 55% chance we get that 50 basis point cut, and about a 45% chance we get a 25 basis point cut. So it's a lot more balanced right now because the market is indecisive. We don't know what the Fed is going to do, so we just have to wait and see. That's why I want to warn everyone that once the decision comes out, there's going to be a big move coming in the equities markets. Are we going to see a big rug pull? Seasonality suggests that the closer we get to October, the more likely it is to happen. Or are we going to get one more pump going into October before the rug pull comes? So we'll have to wait and see depending on the Fed. I can tell you this though, Tesla did get a rejection right here. So from a technical standpoint, Tesla's looking a little bit weaker. We basically pumped to 232, a little bit under that before we came back down, and now we're looking at support at 227.38. If we don't hold above that, there could be a dip coming all the way down towards the 225s. If we manage to break past 228, we could be looking for a push, but I'm seeing a little bit of weakness here in the markets. The market's a little bit indecisive, and that's because the market's kind of like pricing in a 50-50 chance of us getting either a 25 or a 50 basis point cut. That's where the market's dipping a little bit. So it's getting ready for this big move. And then whether or not this lasts is not guaranteed. It depends on the Fed. So the Fed, when they come out, okay, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that could cause a big bounce in the markets. The market could squeeze back up, or the market could be setting itself up for a very, very big rug pull. So we'll just have to wait and see. As of right now, Tesla's looking a little bit weaker. It's still kind of shuffling between the support at the 20 EMA, 227.38, and then 228, that area. If we get back above 228, we could get closer to 230. And if we don't hold 227, we're looking for a dip down to 225 or below. Tesla's kind of shuffling, but there's a little bit of weakness kind of developing here with the market. So we will see how it goes for now. But like I said before, don't be too confident. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Fed. Now on SPY, I got this rejection here. Could this be a head and shoulders, or are we about to see a big bounce? We're just waiting to see what the move is about to be. We are slowing down in terms of momentum on the 4-hour time frame. And on the daily, we are also slowing down a bit. So we'll have to wait and see if we get that rejection or not. Overall, SPY is kind of dipping. We're looking for 560.25 as our main support. If that fails us, we're looking for a bigger dip all the way down towards 558 or below. If we get back above 563, we could try to rebound towards the highs from yesterday, or at least to this imbalance of 563 breaks. So far today, we've been really struggling to break above that. We did push a little bit, as I was talking about, for dipping, but overall we're pretty choppy. There's a lot of choppy price action right here. I think SPY could dip a little bit more and remain very, very choppy in the process. But whether or not we get a bigger rug whether we get a bigger rug pull or a big bounce depends on what the Fed ends up saying. So there could be more downside, but there's a lot of chop right now. On ES, I'm seeing the same thing. We're very, very choppy. We do have this gap to fill down here. If we lose 56.68. Look for a big dump all the way down to 56.34. Might not seem like that much to some people, but that's pretty big for ES's standards. So there could be a dump coming to fill that gap. However, it's not a guarantee. If we end up breaking past 5,700, there could be a bounce. So we'll see which way we go depending on the Fed. But there is that gap, so you want to be kind of careful with that. For others out there like Nvda, we're starting to dip right now. The inverse head and shoulders like setup is still technically valid unless if we end up losing like 111, I'd become a lot more concerned. So watch 114. If that doesn't hold, we could be dipping towards 111. And if that breaks, we turn more bearish. We need to try to break above 116 to turn back up. Otherwise, this is still favoring a downtrend for now. We'll see if that continues depending on the Fed. For Bitcoin, we look a little bit weaker right now. We could be dipping down towards 58,850. If that fails us, we're looking for a dip down towards 57,500. If this holds, we could rebound. This looks a little bit more bearish, so it could dip a little bit more. For other factors out there, we also have NQ. NQ is dipping, but we're looking at the 20 EMA, so 19,577. If that breaks, we could be coming down to fill this gap. And if we hold this, we could try to rebound. So I think there is a risk of this coming down to fill the gap. We'll see if we lose support. We will see if our 20 EMA holds. That support I called out at 19,577. So give it some time. We'll see how it reacts. For the QQQ, we have a bearish divergence here. If we don't hold 471.29, we're going to be dipping down towards 468 most likely. If we hold this, we could rebound, but I'm seeing a little bit of weakness on tech right now. So please be a little bit careful, guys. Market's dipping, but we'll see if Jerome Powell causes a bounce or not. It all depends on what he says. Apple could try to rebound. We're showing some strength. I didn't mention this in my earlier video. We might see a rebound on Apple. We're looking at 220's resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 222. If we lose 218, we could be dipping. We'll see if we get a bounce or not. For others out there, like the IWM, we're kind of dipping right here. If we break 220, we could turn up. If we fail, we're going back down to 216. So watch and see how it goes. For Coinbase, we're just shuffling. We have a double top and we're rejecting off our EMAs. So if we don't reclaim 162, we could be dipping all the way down towards 157. Amazon has a bearish divergence. If we don't reclaim 185, we could be dipping down towards 183 or below. If we hold this, we could try to bounce, so I see some weakness nonetheless. For Meta, we have some weakness developing. If we don't break above 540, we could be dipping down towards 533. If that fails us, I think we're coming all the way down to 528. So I want to give you guys a heads up about that. For Microsoft, we look a little bit more bearish now. We did try to push up to 440. I did mention that in my video yesterday. Then we started dipping. So I said that what I was thinking is we could get close to 440 then dip. We came just short of my target, so now we're dipping back down. So I didn't get that entirely right, and we are kind of rejecting now. So we're barely holding 429. If 429 fails us, I think we're dipping down to about the 425s. That's going to be our critical support, 429.43. And we have resistance to watch for at 432.5. We look a little bit weak on Microsoft. Google's also starting to turn. We were holding up very well. I said 162 should be coming. We came just short of that before we came back down. So we got to try to hold 160. If it doesn't hold above that, I think we're coming back down to 158. So the market's showing some weakness. We are starting to dip a little bit. This could signify more downside, maybe after the Fed, who knows? Or we could get a big bounce. We'll see what the Fed ends up announcing. Do we get 50 basis points or 25? So be very, very patient, and we'll see how the move ends up looking. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. As far as Tesla goes, we're showing a little bit of weakness if we don't reclaim 227.38. And then in that case, we could dip a little bit more. So I just want to make that very clear. 225 would be our next target if this does not hold, followed by 223.6. But the thing about Tesla is this is not the end of the world. And the big move is going to be coming once the Fed makes their announcements. So we're going to be listening to see what the Fed has to say. Once the decision comes out and the interest rate projections at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's going to cause a much bigger move, so wait for that. All right, so we'll see if that causes a bounce or not. As of right now, the market is showing some weakness, so we'll see how it goes. This is your last warning, guys. By the time I upload my next video, the data is going to be out, so we will see. So be ready, do what you have to do, guys. Prepare yourselves, and peace out.